Hello and welcome back to more Apollo Justice Ace Attorney, where last episode we discovered that Phoenix Wright, the legend from the original trilogy, the person we watched grow from a rookie defense lawyer to a legendary attorney, is now no longer taking cases. He's not a lawyer anymore. We don't know if he was fired or if he was disbarred, but he's not a lawyer anymore, and as a result, he's acting like the biggest little cocky, arrogant prick in the world, and he does not act like the Phoenix we know from the original trilogy. Now, of course, it could be that he just quit and wanted to live his life, but the hints that they've been dropping makes me think that they're gonna reveal that he was disbarred, and that the reason is gonna be because he fabricated evidence, and if that's f***ing true, I swear to God, this game will never hear the end of my wrath. Because, look, you know what? No, I'm not even gonna do it. I'm going to assume that this game has the best of intentions in mind, and that they don't actually plan on making Phoenix Wright be disbarred as an attorney. I really hope not, because that would be f***ing stupid if they did. Back again for round 2.
Court will now reconvene. Has our witness, Miss Olga Orley, recovered?
Yes, Your Honor. She's regained consciousness.
Perhaps we can hear a vision of the events again.
That's the thing, he's quite fatigued.
You're looking a bit fatigued yourself, Mr. Payne.
Sadly, particularly since sufficient grounds for refuse to testify or prosecute. The defense would like to request that Miss Orley take the stand.
Very well. The witness will take the stand.
Perhaps you could repeat your name and profession. Perhaps you'd rather admit you're a poor liar and a poor loser. Not.
Okay then.
Name's Olga Orley. That's the truth. I'm a pro dealer. People call me Quick Fingers Only.
Oh really?
Want to know something else? I'm not really Russian, and my last name sounds like, oh really? There, that's the truth. I hope you're satisfied.
I really didn't care. Witness, you will tell the court what you were really up to that night.
Fine, I'll talk. We had a plan, see?
Let me remind you that you are currently under oath. Any further fabrications will have serious consequences.
Fine.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm a pro. That guy Smith hired me to do what I do best. I was present at the Borscht Bowl Club several days prior to the night of the game as a waitress.
So you were cahoots with the victim?
Not that he needed my help. Smith is a well-known poker player in some circles, but winning wasn't the main purpose of the game. It was about destroying a legend, the unbeatable Phoenix Wright. The plan was simple, elegant really. You see, we set up a trap of sorts. I was to plant a card in Wright's pocket beforehand, and then deal 5 aces during one of their games. While the hands were revealed, Smith would call them out and search Wright. He would then pull out the planted card, and the trap would snap shut.
You've swapped the cards.
He's posed as a cheater and losing on top of it. I would have made it a great double pay. Just like that, the legend would be dashed to pieces.
I think he's already been dashed to pieces once.
Granting caught red-handed that the cheating will be cast out of all his prior wins.
A 7-year legend destroyed by one little card. That was the plan. Oh really, Ollie? How true. But it appears you made quite a mistake.
A mistake?
I agree, the trap was elegant. Yet, what happened to that planted card?
Hey, that's right.
He's lucky. He's lucky, I'll give him that. You have to be a slip 3 from the trap laid by Olga Quick Fingers Only.
Oh really? The witness would be much cuter if she dispensed with the evil mastermind chick.
Cute? Who wants to be cute? I'm not cute, I'm bad. You hear me? Bad.
While you're through being bad, perhaps you could testify to the court. Tell us about this trap and how it was sprung.
The best laid traps. Alright, tell me about the best laid traps.
Then I planted the card like I was supposed to, and Wright lost a hand, left like he was supposed to, then Smith searched him, but the planted card was gone, the trap failed. The next moment Wright picked up a bottle and swung it.
Why? Why? Why would he have done that? Why? What was the reason? What reason would he have had to do that?
Surprisingly frank testimony that still leaves us mostly in the dark.
The trap was perfect, I tell you. Perfect. Did that run cheater hadn't messed it up?
Look who's talking.
Well, the testimony, for what it's worth, is all yours, Mr. Justice.
With witnesses like her, who needs criminals? And with defendants like Mr. Wright, who needs prosecutors? Wait, so is he? No, he's... He just said if it depends like Mr. Wright, who needs prosecutors? Okay. Planted, why would he have swung? Wait, isn't that a little odd?
Well, what's odd?
You searched Mr. Wright thoroughly and found nothing, which means he didn't cheat, which means he had no reason to strike the victim.
Well?
What the... My thoughts exactly. Something wrong, Mr. Justice?
No, nothing, Your Honor. I just saw inverted color scheme before.
What? Just a second ago. Press hard. Yeah, press harder.
Miss Orley, you're hiding something.
What are you talking about? You? Me? Quick fingers, Oli?
The mental frame of these accusations.
I have one question for the witness then. You say that you saw the moment the defendant hit the victim. Is this true?
Of course it's true. I did see it, honest. I saw it when Wright hit him.
Okay, seriously, what is going on here? What's this weird vibe I'm getting? That witness, for instance, Miss Orley. She would touch the back of her neck during certain parts of her testimony. Did you notice? Touching your neck, was it? What the f***? What is this? Whoa, what's going on? I'm having an acid trip. This sensation, it's coming into focus. There, that twitch, it's so clear. It's like I could perceive her habit like I couldn't before. Are you f***ing kidding me? This is a gimmick now? This is a gimmick now? I don't even have the energy to be mad at this. This was a thing in the original trilogy. But you want to know what happened? You didn't need a stupid little gimmick to do that. You just looked at the witness and said, oh, that's an odd little body position you're having there. That's an odd little nervous tick you have. Let's press for more information, see if anything comes up. Now it's a fucking gimmick. Can this game stop being stupid for like 5 minutes? Gotcha! Oh my god. You have to give him his own thing, don't you? You have to give him his own gimmick and his own onomatopoeia. Miss Orley, perhaps you are unaware of this yourself.
Unaware of what?
Whenever you get to a certain part of your testimony, you touch the back of your neck with your— Why would you— Don't explain that to the witness, you dead shit! Oh my god.
What indeed, Justice? I hadn't noticed anything of the sort.
When she says that part of the testimony, she's subconsciously recalling something. Her body reacts to the memory and she touches her neck. I'm sure of it.
A memory? Would someone care to explain what he's babbling about?
This is highly unusual, but let's ask the defense. You claim the witness is remembering something. Maybe you have evidence of this memory to show us? Are you actually trying to tell me that she was hit on the neck?
I notice it happens when you think about the moment of the crime. There must be some reason behind this habit of yours. I believe Oh, we're actually going this route. Okay. Whenever she talks about the moment of the crime, she touches her neck. And what reminds us more of the moment than this bottle and the murder weapon. But something doesn't fit. If you were only the witness to this crime, why would that make you touch your neck like you're in pain?
What's he talking about just now?
It was Mr. Smith, the victim, who was hit, not you.
This is a cross-examination, not a cross-wild conjecture. The witness's habits are completely irrelevant.
Justice, I'll admit, I'm accused myself. This is only a unique cross-examination.
I'll explain later, just trust me. Now's our only chance to break her. Miss Orley, please testify in detail about the moment of the crime, the very moment.
Me? I am doing nothing?
We know you're not Russian.
The witness will testify, please, now.
When he did it, didn't let him out of my sight till the cop. That's just fucking wrong. He left the room to call the police. Miss Orley, we have a record here. It states that the police were alerted by a report from the defendant. And we know the defendant left the room, climbed the stairs, and made that phone call from the first floor of the Borscht Bowl Club. Huh? So explain how you kept your eyes on the defendant when he left the room entirely.
The man who picked up a bottle and swung it that night wasn't the defendant.
Do we really need to watch this cutscene again? I guess so. Alright then. This is definitely necessary for the plot. Okay. So how's everyone's day going? You having a good day? I gotta fill the air somehow because there's no reason for us to watch this cutscene again. We're not learning any new information here. This is just the same thing we watched last time.
Just then, Smith grabbed the bottle from next to Wright, and he hit me.
Some master cheating you turned out to be. By the way, that video literally showed him picking up the bottle.
The victim was already dead, is that it?
That's why I couldn't reveal who I really was. If it came out that I was in league with Smith, I'd be in a suspect for sure.
Well, where does this leave us?
Madness, this is madness. I'm dreaming. It must have been me who was in with the bottle and imagining all this.
It appears our prosecution is at its wit's end, and frankly, I can't blame him. Mr. Gavin, what do you think about this turn of events?
Mr. Gavin, sir?
I believe that as a defense in this case, I'm compelled to call this only a big fat liar.
Well, what?
We were in the room that night of the murder, the victim and her, and she has a motive.
A motive?
A plot foiled, the witness got into an argument with her client, Mr. Smith. And the denouement of that argument was murder.
What?
I'm no killer, it's a trap, someone's trying to frame me.
Yeah, and it's the guy standing immediately next to me. This isn't funny! Why are you laughing? What tangle webs we weave when we practice to deceive. So tangled we catch ourselves in the process.
Mr. Wright,
Such a hasty conclusion. It's not like you, Christoph Gavin.
What are you saying?
Why not consider the other possibility, that there was another person in the room at the time of the murder? Right, like Mr. Wright was saying before recess, a single card was swapped into the victim's hand after the murder. And the one who swapped the card didn't know two colors of cards were being used. A fourth person.
Ha, this theory again. Your fourth person has nothing to
Yeah, he does. He's standing right next to me. That's why I decided to bring this case to court. Here, where there's no escape and no chance for deception. The perfect place to catch the real criminal.
the real criminal?
And we're in luck. A clue to the real criminal's identity was kindly provided for us, and right at the beginning of the trial, no less.
What?
Apollo, perhaps you know what I'm talking about? Sorry. Yeah, Apollo, you're I guess Apollo is listening. Remember what I said. The fourth person was swapped the cards with one critical error. He or she wasn't considering the color on the back of the cards. Yeah. Well, Christoph did say at the beginning of the trial that the back of the cards were wreathed in blue flames. So there's your thing. The cards used last game were red. Yet there was one person here in our court who thought those cards were blue. Yeah, I had that impression too, but why? Well, Apollo?
It's not me, I swear.
Who is this fourth person?
Why do I always get put on the spot like this? Let's hear what the defense has to say. Who was it? Who thought the cards used in the final game were blue? Christoph Gavin. How convenient, he's the first one selected. As I expected, your eyes and ears are as sharp as your hair. I was right? Christoph Gavin, you were the fourth person that night. But, of course Mr. Gavin knows the color of the cards. How would he? As you can see, the photo of the crime scene is black and white. You can't tell which of the cards are blue, the ones on the floor or the table. But look, you can see the colors in this photo. Yes, but when he said the cards were blue, it was well before this evidence came to light. Yeah, we already heard him say this, we don't need to hear him say it again. Well, Christoph? Mr. Gavin?
Mr. Gavin, is something the matter?
No, nothing. Excuse me, it was just so sudden. What? You aren't seriously accusing me, are you?
Oh, Christoph. You know even I never take a joke this far.
This is gonna be how ridiculous it's beyond dumb. This is insanity. The defense accusing his own defense attorney of murder.
I assure you, I'm quite sane. Yet to be confirmed.
What possible connection did Mr. Gavin have to the victim?
I wasn't aware that I had a connection to Mr. Smith either.
Yes, but Mr. Gavin and the victim have never even met.
Well, what if they have?
Huh?
There was a possibility, after all. They may have met that night before the game started.
What are you suggesting?
Is this the truth Mr. Wright was staying silent about? Well, only one thing to do. Mr. Wright, the defense would like you...
The defense would like to do because no such thing.
Mr. Gavin?
Testimonies was related to the case. How could anything happen before the game of poker be related?
I'm not sure I follow, Mr. Gavin.
As I explained before, the defense believes in Miss Orley.
Am I to assume you speak for Mr. Justice in this? He is the defense, not you. Mr. Justice, the matter of Mr. Wright's testimony is up to you.
Oh, okay.
Oh. Does the court need to hear Mr. Wright's testimony?
Yes. Yes, it does. This is Mr. Wright's strategy. He was planning this all along. You don't need to go through all this bullshit. And I intend to see it through. The defense would like to request that Mr. Wright testify. Phoenix is literally friends with Edgeworth. You don't need to go through this. This is so stupid. Oh my god.
Hey, True Justice, you betray me, your teacher.
I'm sorry, Mr. Gavin. This isn't about loyalty. This is about the truth.
Very well, the defendants... Mr. Wright will take the stand, please.
Oh my god. My brain can't take this. That evening, Christoph and I had dinner, sat at the table in this photograph. Look at that! Look! Right there! The bottles are literally next to Phoenix. All he has to do is reach down to pick it up and look at that. He's got upside down fingerprints in the bottle. How is nobody pointed this out yet? J. Smith walked in 5 minutes after Christoph left. When the trap failed, Smith hit the witness. The girl was knocked out cold and Smith was uncontrollable. I'll have to call the police. When I returned, he was dead, blood streaming from a cut on his forehead. That's when I made another phone call to defense attorney Gavin.
Mr. Gavin, you were at the Borscht Bowl Club at the night of the murder?
I dine with him rather frequently.
And he talked to the defendant on the phone directly after the murder?
Quite against my will. I had become involved in a murder. I thought I might be in need of a lawyer, so I called him.
You were playing this all along, weren't you, Wright? Just because you wanted to drag me into a murder trial.
The only thing I want is the truth, as I did back then, and now.
I thought my office was doing you a favor when we took on your defense. It appears that I was wrong.
Very well. The defense may cross-examine the witness.
Justice.
Sir.
He's lying and you're going to expose him.
Understood, sir. As Gavin, Mr. Wright, this can't end well. Why can't I have a normal trial? You're useless. You have no relation to anything happening in this case. Everybody around you is doing all the work for you. Okay. Sat at the table and photograph. Yeah, it's true. 5 minutes after Kristoff left. Trap failed. Smith hit the waitress. Okay. Give me more information on that. About this failed trap. Is it the same trap that Miss Olga Orley mentioned?
The plan was simple, elegant, really. You see, we set up a trap of sorts. I was to plant a card in Wright's pocket beforehand, and then deal 5 aces during one of their games. When their hands were revealed, Mr. Smith would call him out and search Wright. He would then pull out the playing card, and the trap would snap shut. You swap the cards. Just like that, the legend would be dashed to pieces.
Yes, a harmless prank in essence. It was by a quirk of fate that I happened to discover it.
A quirk?
I happened to be putting my hand in my pocket and found a card. The card she planted. Yes, I snuck a peek at it and we found it was the 5 of hearts. I had a feeling something might happen to do it, so I disposed of the card before the game. Disposed? Where? There was an empty bottle of grape juice I'd been drinking right beside me. I threw the card inside the bomb. Is that true? It definitely wasn't in this bottle, because it's empty. So, no? I mean, unless it was one of the other, like, unless, hold on. I guess it could have been one of these bottles. Like, it could be in a different one, but in that case, where is the other one in this photo? I don't know. Okay. The murder weapon? Yes, I rolled it up and shoved it in. The colored glass makes it hard to see. Oh wait, you're claiming it's the murder weapon? You're just wrong. Wrong. Oh my god.
What's the right to testify with this new information?
Okay. Discovered and disposed of the cards in the bottle. Nope, you're just wrong. You're just wrong. They haven't clearly revealed the contradiction in that statement, Your Honor.
How exactly have they...
There's no card in the bottle! They aren't, what? 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 There's no card in the bottle!
What do you mean?
There's no card in the bottle! Look, it's empty! There's nothing in here! There's nothing in the bottle! What do you mean? Yes, exactly! There's nothing in the bottle, so why can't I present this as evidence? Oh, now it works! This game is getting stupider by the second. Yes? I've examined the bottle and I don't see any card in here. No.
What, Mr. Wright? Surely this isn't all you have to say for yourself.
I can't say that I know what happened to the card. I did put it in that bottle, however. Huh? Perhaps a fifth person came and took it out. Oh, and a sixth person could have helped. Oh, shut up.
Mr. Gavin, Mr. Wright is your client.
My apologies, Your Honor.
I won't have you disparaging our investigation either. We looked inside that bottle, there was nothing.
So what's going on? Is Mr. Wright hoodwinking us again? He probably is, because this is all just a fun, silly little game to him, apparently, which is bullshit. Or did the card just disappear?
In any case, please continue the cross-examination. I'm afraid decisive contradictions call for decisive evidence.
Oh. Push him hard, Justice. Break him. It's just you and the witness in the ring. Go for the KO. Oh, why do I get the feeling we're not on our client's side anymore? Because he doesn't want us to be. Okay, so what else did I miss? Yes, true. Walked in 5 minutes after Kristoff left. Okay. Showed us a trap. We already proved that's wrong. Girl was knocked out of cold. His and left to call the police. And my attorney was dead. Bloodstream would have come this for. Wait a minute. How'd you know that? Wait. Hold it. He was wearing a hat. How could you possibly have known that? Mr. Wright, if I may. Yes? Take a look at the photograph of the crime scene. See the victim here? He's wearing a hat. I wouldn't think you could see blood on his forehead. Good point. Justice, next time you point an instance, put a little oomph into it.
Mr. Wright, can you explain this to the court?
Ah, I forgot to mention something. I was the one who put that hat on his head. Oh my god, he wore through our entire poker game. After calling the police when I turned to the scene, his head was in full view. Shining bright just like it in this photograph. And he picked his hat up off the floor and put it on his head. Why would you... All I can say is I'm sorry, but that's the only thing I touched at the crime scene. So Mr. Early didn't see it? It being the victim's head? I think not. She was out cold. I believe I was the only one who witnessed this head. Ah, here we go again. Mr. Gavin? Pardon. It just seems that our client is determined to lie his way through this case. Hey, he's still our client, isn't he? I believe that's enough of that. Mr. Gavin, your witness's testimony is, well, a travesty, but riddled with lies. I'm beginning to see how you came to lose your attorney's badge. He was disbarred! He was... Oh my god! Oh my god, we're actually going this route. We're actually going down this route. Capcom, what the fuck? Oh my god, that's such bullshit. That is such bullshit. And I guarantee you what I said is correct too. That stupid throwaway line from Rice on the Ashes. I guarantee you that's the linchpin of this whole game. Okay. Oh my... Well, you certainly have a unique way of treating your clients, Christoph. I never knew. I'll be with you through the festoon. Mr. Wright, if you intend to ever tell the truth about this case, it's now or never. Don't be misled. I haven't told a single lie. What? Eh? When I noticed the trap, I put the card in the bottle to dispose of it. And when I put the hat on the victim's head, let's just say I had a reason for doing that as well. Then tell us the reason. That reason is right here. Your cell phone? That night, recall that I spoke with defense attorney Gavin after calling the police, just in case I've recorded our conversation. What's this? Now that we're all here, I see no reason why I shouldn't play it back for the court. Christoph, I seem to be in a bit of trouble. What's this? Game not going well? Something like that. I didn't challenge you. Turned out to be good. Turned out to be dead. Someone hit him hard. You mean someone cracked that flawless bone and china plate? Wait, you mean like his head? Okay. Okay, I see. That's... We're actually going this route. So, the idea here is that the only reason he would know he was bald is because he was at the scene of the crime. So he put the hat on to solidify that. Oh my god, he's tampering with the crime scene now. I don't even have the energy to be mad at this. This is I think I'm in this. I think I'm just in disbelief. I'm in disbelief that they actually made something this stupid. Was you, was it? Me, please. Cops should be here any minute. I'm in your hands. Should it come to that. Oh my god. Bone and cheetah plate. A kind of porcelain, very smooth and shiny, but not plate, but pate. I believe he was referring to a certain gentleman's balding forehead. Yep. The court appreciates the defendant's discretion in not indicating my forehead. Wait a second. Something's not right about that phone call. So after Mr. Gay had Gavin dinner with you, he left the Borscht Bowl Club? Most certainly. Then how did he know? When did he see this bone and cheetah plate? Oh, that's right. Yes. That was when I began to see my good friend in a different light. Troubled, I returned to the crime scene, and when I spotted Mr. Smith's head again, I realized exactly what was wrong. Well, Mr. Gavin, the stage has been set. Perhaps you would like to explain to the court exactly how did you come by your privileged knowledge of the victim's head? So, this is your reason why you put the victim's hat back on. Your point, Mr. Gavin? It's come down to this, has it, Mr. Phoenix Wright?
Order, I will have order. Mr. Payne.
Yes, Your Honor.
I believe this court has been left with no choice. Are you prepared to hear defense attorney's Gavin testimonies?
Well, that's the prosecutor, right?
Very well, we'll break for 10 minutes. After which Mr. Gavin will take a stand for cross-examination. Are we all clear on that?
Crystal clear, Your Honor.
Very well, this will be the final recess for the day.
Oh my god. I'm conserving my rage for when we finish this case, because I'm waiting for them to just do something to make this less stupid than it is. Mr. Gavin and Mr. Wright are both in the judges' chambers. Who would have thought today would turn out like this? Oh, well, look who it is. It's Little Miss Lockett. Except that you are wearing blue clothing and not red clothing. Okay, so you're Mr. Phoenix Wright's daughter that just poofed into existence over the course of 7 years, huh?
Hello, sir. Please pick a card.
Well, what's this all about? Is this one okay?
Excellent. I have a message for you. The last hand is about to be played. You'll need a trump card to make it.
A trump card?
The card you have chosen is magical. Use it wisely and the game is yours. That's all.
An ace? What do I remember this card from? Is this the card? Is this the missing fifth ace?
It is true, I have seen it, the fifth ace. There was cheating, I swear to you.
The missing fifth ace. Wait, there's blood on the red card. Is it blood?
You have your trump card, now it's up to you to cut the deck and draw the truth. My father's fate is in your hands. I know you can do it. What?
This bloodstained card is my trump card for finding the truth? Okay. What the f? So... my brain is just... I can't. This is too much. So... I'm assuming she... Wait a minute. Do we have a profile? No, we don't. Okay. She looked way older than 7. And she spoke way older than 7. So... she must be adopted, right? Like, there's no way... Because if she wasn't adopted, then she's maximum of 7 years old, and she was not acting like she didn't look or sound like a 7-year-old. I believe in the thoughts of my mind raced to understand what this all meant. That girl, I've seen her recently, but where? Is your memory that pathetic? Okay, good. At least you remember it now. Good God. Bloody added to the core record. Received from a mysterious girl. Call now reconvene. Defense Attorney Crystal Gavin, will you please take the stand? Now then, if you would, Mr. Payne.
Yes, Your Honor. The witness state his name and occupation.
Is this not necessary, Your Honor?
Believe me, far stranger things have gone on in this courtroom.
Fine, I'll play along.
First, there's one thing we need to make crystal clear. How did you know about the secret beneath the victim's hat?
By secret, I'm guessing that means the fact that Mr. Smith was bald.
If you my curiosity, but what is it about this fellow's head? Your Honor seems to have an important interest in it.
What? Why are you allowed to stand here? Why are you allowed to stand here? You're the defendant. Mr. Wright. No, game. Playing the music from the first Ace Attorney game doesn't get you out of this. That doesn't save you. You can't just play the original music and expect us to get away with it. Oh my god. Wow, things should look different from the other side. You know what I mean, Apollo? Speaking of looking from the other side, let's do something for a second. The victim wore that hat all night, never taking it off except for that one time. That one time. When Mr. Wright returned from the reporting of the crime, the hat was lying on the floor. Mr. Wright picked it up and placed it on the victim's head. In other words, in order to have seen Mr. Smith's bald head, you would have had to be at the scene of the crime at the time of the crime.
In other words, you'd have to be the real killer, is what you're trying to say.
Not bad, Apollo. Yes, considering you literally did all the work for me.
Mr. Gavin.
I'm afraid that I haven't been completely honest with the court.
Oh, haven't you now?
What?
Oh, I assure you, I did no most intentions. I did it all to protect my client, Mr. Wright.
Bullshit.
Yes, I'm afraid in the current situation, I see little reason to hide anything. Very well. Allow me to tell you what happened that night.
Oh, good God.
Finally, may begin your testimony. Tell us, how were you involved in the events of that fateful night?
Oh, good God. Okay, here we go.
The reason I said to that man that night troubled me, so I returned to the club. I went down to the basement and peeked in through the window to the hideout. Must have been while after the murder took place. Victim was dead as he appears in the photo. A bald head and a conscious girl, and Wright, holding a bottle in his hand.
Okay, so that's 3 people, but we know there were 4 people, so... how do you plan on weaseling away out of this one, buddy?
So you witnessed the murder?
The better was, I missed the actual moment of the deed.
Mr. Gavin, may I remind you that you are Mr. Wright's defense team. Your system is clearly disadvantageous to your client.
What else could I say? I'm standing on the witness stand after all.
So you are Mr. Gavin, and you had to testify as you just did. You had to tell them you saw that scene of the crime through the little window. Mr. Wright, you had to say that, because that was the only probable window of opportunity, right, Apollo? Oh.
Mr. Wright, the defense should not choose the cross-examination, not the defendant.
Yeah, exactly! Why is the judge even allowing him to stand there? Yes, Your Honor. I can't believe I'm going up against Mr. Gavin. I can. I thought this was gonna happen pretty much right away. Not exactly a big shocker. Oh, good God. Okay. We're just soon, yeah, so there were 5 people in the room, or sorry, 4 people, not 3 people. Those were the only 3 at the scene of the crime?
Yes, as far as I saw at least.
Then we're back to where we started. The killer was the defendant, Phoenix Wright. Who else could it have been? But Why didn't you talk to the police?
2 reasons. First, I didn't actually witness the very moment of the crime. Second, my office was asked to defend Wright. Even after seeing what I had seen, I couldn't abandon my friend.
There must have been someone else there at the moment of the crime.
Stop, I just said I saw no one, not a soul.
But that goes against what Mr. Wright said.
Ah yes, a mysterious fourth person. Who would conveniently be the killer, I suppose.
Glad to see we agree, Mr. Gavin.
Maybe pose a question then. Tell me, what possible reason did the killer have to swap the card in the victim's hand?
Because if you leave a card with blood on it, then you're obviously gonna get caught. So yeah, of course they had to switch it. It's just that you thought the cards were blue, so that's why you didn't take care to do that. I was just letting I can't find myself. Remember, Apollo, the card that was swapped out was the 5th ace. The 5th ace, right. How would you possibly know about the card we have? You were in the judge's chambers. You wouldn't know about that. Go point out your reasons, Mr. Justice. Why did they kill it? Because it was bloody. My reason is this.
Is that an ace?
Why? It's got blood on it. Right next to the spade.
What? This is insane. Why wasn't I told about this? Why?
Could this be the missing 5th ace?
Inconceivable, how could you? What are you doing with that card?
Well, that's the thing. It's just a fishy card from some fishy girl. Yeah, is your memory that pathetic? Oh, that card, it's mine. That is, I picked it up at the Borscht Bowl Club the night after the murder occurred. I gave it to my daughter. Cards are her stock and trade after all. Cards are her stock and trade, what?
No, impossible, unacceptable. The court cannot show this evidence, it's a fraud.
A fraud? How can you be so sure?
What?
I would think the only person who could claim it was a fraud would be the one who took the real card from the crime scene, the killer. Allow me to elaborate. What if this trace of blood was the reason?
The reason for?
For the killer to take the card from the scene of the crime.
Where are you going with this?
Taking a look at the photo and at the victim's head. At the moment of the crime, his hat fell to the floor, and a trickle of blood ran from his forehead down to the back of his head. Couldn't a drop of that blood have fallen on one of the cards? I suppose. The killer then took the card to hide the blood.
Regardless, that evidence is not permissible.
Oh?
Right, regardless of how you wanted to use the last 7 years, how you wasted the last 7 years, you used to be a lawyer. You knew what a serious crime it is to conceal evidence.
Oh, we can discuss the finer points of our legal system later. What's important now is that I've answered your question.
What are you talking about?
You wanted to know why the killer would have taken the card from the crime scene, and now I've told you. The one drop of blood would have been decisive evidence you see.
This is baseless conjecture, baseless.
Oh, look, fan service. He's pointing like he used to. That means he's still the same Phoenix we always knew and loved, except no, he f***ing isn't. Oh, I assure you it's quite based.
What?
It's amazing, really, how a single drop of blood on a single card can lead us to the truth. It's quite simple. Well, Apollo? Yes? Try picturing the scene of the crime. In your head. Oh, what the f***? Are we gonna render the scene in Blender now? Yep, we are. Rendering the scene in Blender now. The murder took place in the hideout. The body of the luckless victim was found at the poker table. And before the killer swapped the card out, there was a single card with a drop of blood on the victim's hand. Given this, there was one decisive problem with the scene.
Well, what is it?
Let's keep it simple, shall we? Given that there was drop blood on the card, who was positioned the victims? Because the only way that would have worked is that the blood would drip on the floor. So if the card was on the floor, then that makes sense. Position doesn't fit the victim, because blood doesn't. That's not how blood works. Like that's not how blood dripping works. Well, isn't it the victim's position that's the problem?
I don't follow your logic here, Mr. Justice.
Well, look, the victim was struck in the head, sitting him back in the chair. You think any blood would fall behind the body, not onto the table in front of him?
Oh,
take a look at the photo again. If you blood in this position, the blood would fall on the floor, not on the cards.
why, that's right. So what does it matter?
Incidentally, we were sitting in swivel chairs.
Yeah, Phoenix, why don't you say these things? You can't keep concealing information. Why was this not made clear?
Oh my god. Apollo, try turning the chair around. Do we actually have to... Oh wow, okay. Isn't that so neat? We rotated it around in Blender.
Chair's facing the other way?
It would have to be. So, we have to assume that at the time of the murder, the victim's chair was facing away from the table.
Mr. Wright returned from informing the police. Which way was the chair facing?
When I came back to the room, that would mean the killer turned the chair around. Let's take the next step. Look at the diagram once more. We now know that the victim was facing away from the table at the time of the murder. But this creates another significant contradiction.
What would that be?
Oh, because he was struck, he was hit on the front of his head. So if he was facing the wall, that would be kind of hard to pull off. Assess your reasoning skills again, shall we? Apollo, whose location in the diagram contradicts the new understanding of the crime?
The victims, the killers, the witnesses, the second witnesses to his location, it would be the killers.
Victim was struck from the front, correct?
Indeed.
Well, wouldn't it be hard for the killer to hit him from the front, sitting where his indicator currently is?
I would think it'd be quite hard, yes.
Yes, but what you're saying makes no sense. Why would the victim suddenly turn to face the wall and...
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense, but I'm sure this game has some kind of bullshit explanation.
I believe a sufficient reason will soon come to light.
What?
There's something in this diagram that makes far less sense, actually. Look again at the diagram. Apollo, if the victim was struck here while he was sitting as shown here, where would his assailant be standing? He would be standing... Well, don't worry, let's think it through and see what we find. We know the victim was facing toward the wall at the time of the crime. That's the only thing we know for sure. Try to forget about everything else. Where the killer would have to have been standing right here. Except that doesn't make any sense because there's a thing in the way. The killer had to be standing, well, here.
You get points for flair, but that's about all you get.
I thought I was onto something there too. No, you didn't. Don't even try. Don't even try.
I only point out the standing would be impossible. The victim was facing a solid cupboard. Are you claiming the killer climbed the cupboard and hit him from above? Ha!
It's simple logic, really. If this was the only place the killer could have been standing, then that means at the very moment of the crime...
Wait, I know!
At the moment of the crime, the cupboard wasn't there.
Oh, really? Wowzers! Then where was it? And why was it moved?
What's this now? I mean, that's the only explanation, right, Mr. Gavin? Your Honor, I have a suggestion for the defense. We should arrange the examine of the cupboard in the hideout immediately. Bailiff, send a team to the crime scene immediately. Have them try to move the cupboard. Ah, Your Honor. What? There's one more thing you should look for. Please give this to the bailiff. Yes, I see. You do belong in a courtroom after all, Mr. Wright. I do my best.
Oh my god, why? If he was actually disbarred, he wouldn't be allowed to do anything he's doing right now.
Let's forge ahead while we wait. Look at the diagram once again has been changed. If the killer was standing here at the time of the crime, the cupboard wasn't here, which means Apollo tried moving the cupboard. Oh, is he gonna tell me that if it was moved, then it would have been blocking the window so he couldn't have seen in? Okay, so it was moved. Great, what does that accomplish? Thank you. As you can see, the cupboard was the problem. At the time of the murder, it has to have been as shown here. Now everything is in place to reconstruct the moment of the crime. Oh my. What's this? What is it now? Look at the diagram of the crime scene once more. It appears we found yet another contradiction. What I believe to be the final contradiction, in fact. Huh? Oh dang, notice something, Apollo. Our line of deduction is rapidly approaching its logical conclusion. Now then, Mr. Justice, please prove the new contradicting indicator. Is it the victim, yeah, whatever. It's the fact that Kristoff couldn't have seen through the window because it was blocked.
About this cupboard. Are y'all okay with assuming it was moved?
Sure, why not?
Well, if something really doesn't fit. The cupboard would completely cover up the window to the stairs. Oh, that's right, someone standing outside wouldn't be able to see in. Someone like Mr. Gavin. What did you say?
Oh, is the coolest defense attorney in the West losing his cool?
Don't expect me to play along with your little game, right?
It's only a game until someone gets killed, Mr. Gavin. And someone was, while the window to that room was blocked by a cupboard. So, Mr. Gavin, perhaps you'd like to explain to the court exactly where did you witness the crime scene from?
Excuse me, Your Honor.
Order! This is a court of law and I will have order.
We just now received a word from our investigative team at the Borscht Ball Club. They've examined the cupboard in the hideout, Your Honor.
Oh, what do they find?
Well, Your Honor, since there's a secret passageway behind it. What the f? This game keeps getting more stupid by the second. There was a secret passage? What? Why would there be a secret passage in the room?
What? Ah, yes, I believe I mentioned something of that sort before. This is one of the tricks to the room many of our regulars know about.
What? You know about this? This is common knowledge? What?
I do remember saying something about that now that he mentions it. A secret passage is a handy thing to have when you're engaged in illegal goings-on. Never know when you might need to duck away from the eyes of the law. So the room is a secret passage. Where does it go? The other side connects to the restaurant above. The underworld bosses could get away from the cops and can enjoy a cold bowl of borscht, no doubt. Just like our killer. What are the odds?
What is this?
You see where our line of civil deductive reasoning has led us, Apollo?
I see, but I don't believe it.
That girl wasn't kidding when she said I needed this trump card for the last hand. At the time of the murder, the window was blocked. We'll only have his head for the movement between Mr. Smith's murder and Mr. Wright's return from calling the cops. In other words, the only place anyone could have seen the victim's bald head was from inside the hideout. Well, Mr. Gavin? Come on, say something. Dare I ask what really happened tonight?
Actually, I think we can probably figure it out ourselves at this point. That night, for whatever reason, our killer had a date with Mr. Smith, a date with destiny. There he crouched hidden in the secret passageway behind the cupboard, holding his breath waiting for just the right moment, then the chance came and he took it.
What? Why'd you do that?
Wait here, I'll get help. Miss O'Gorley was out cold, struck by Smith. But his time was soon to come. Mr. Wright went upstairs to call the cops, leaving Mr. Shady Smith alone in the hideout with the unconscious dealer. Then our killer stepped out from the secret passage and into the hideout. The victim must have heard the cupboard sliding aside. He wheeled his chair around to look, and after the deed was done, the criminal must have seen the blood on the card. He would have, of course, realized the need to destroy the evidence. That single spot of blood told the whole story of the crime. Too bad for him he didn't linger any longer in the hideout that night. If he had, he might have noticed the cards on the floor, and the fact that they were all red.
Well, it seems this trial has taken yet another turn. I'm truly sorry I had to see this day come, Mr. Gavin.
Mr. Gavin?
Mr. Payne!
Yes, Your Honor.
The prosecution will continue its investigation. As for Mr. Phoenix Wright, the defendant, he is hereby cleared of all suspicion.
Grah.
Believe me when I say that I don't believe this is happening, Mr. Gavin, but I'm afraid circumstances call for me to issue a warrant for your arrest immediately.
Oh my god. Oh, no need to apologize. I've enjoyed it myself. It's not every day when you get to witness legendary Tony's dirty tactics firsthand.
Your point, Mr. Gavin?
Frankly, Your Honor, I'm shocked that a person of your caliber will be taken in by such a low-grade politrick.
Excuse me?
The defendant is cleared of all suspicion. This is hardly the time for jokes, Your Honor. Mr. Wright has proved anyone's guilt of innocence here, but he has done this used illegal evidence to put the blame on someone else, and not just anyone else but me, his own defense attorney.
Illegal evidence?
Let me ask you, Mr. Gavin, is there still any reason at present to suspect me of wrongdoing? Of course, this bottle, for instance. Are we really going back to the f***ing bottle? I couldn't explain it away the finger was because he was drinking out of it, you dumbass! It doesn't seem to be right, Mr. Payne?
Actually, yes. The fingerprints on the bottle were upside down.
I seem to recall this being an issue earlier. You called this case about an explanation. You don't need one, just think a little bit! Common f***ing sense! See how the caught fish swims to the last. Well, Apollo. Yes, your boss seems awfully concerned about this bottle still, but I'm sure you can come up with a suitable explanation just like that. Yeah, just like what? Why would anyone grab a bottle upside down other than to... Oh, don't let him trick you into thinking his explanation is the only legitimate one. Is there really another? Yes. Believe you'll find a similar in plain sight. Yes. Yes. It's not hard. It's not hard. Just let me show you what it is. Okay. Look, you see here. There's bottles down to his right. If you pick up a bottle from your down and to the right, you pick it up and you're holding it upside down. This is not very hard. This is basic common sense is what's going on here. Oh my god. It's actually easier to show than explain, Your Honor. Place the bottle on the floor next to your chair.
Excuse me? On the floor?
Yes, now reach down and pick it up without getting out of your chair. Ah! You fuckers didn't figure this out 2 hours ago? See? You naturally go to pick it up by the light's neck. With your fingers upside down. What a shocking revelation that took 2 goddamn hours for anybody in this room to figure out. There's like 0 brain cells in this courtroom right now. Defendant Mr. Wright sat here, playing piano, bottles of grape juice on the floor. He would have naturally picked up the bottles upside down several times.
Whoa, I can't believe it was that simple.
I was drinking my usual juice then, too. Basically, you used the bottle on the table to do the deed, but then you must have remembered. So you went and picked up one of the bottles from under the piano, and you switched the bottles. You took one of Mr. Wright's bottles and made it look like the murder weapon.
Order, order, order. What do you have to say to these charges, Mr. Gavin?
Fascinating. So this is legendary attorney's famous act of misdirection. Well, what? Claim I switched the bottle. Where is your proof?
Proof?
Well, if you check the bottle, if you check the other bottle, then you find the card inside, then boom, case closed. But your bottle of proof is quite empty.
I wouldn't be so sure about that. Your Honor, when you initiated the investigation of the hideout earlier, do you recall that I requested an additional investigation? Yes. I have your memo about that here. Retrieve the bottles from under the piano at Borscht Bowl Club. And here's one of the bottles in question. And let me guess, there's a card in it. Which Gavin would probably wouldn't make such an honest mistake, true. Battle wouldn't bear a trace of anything, but there's a card, if there's a card inside, well, lie. Just humor me. Are you you haven't figured this out yet, Apollo? There's gonna be a card in here. Yup, hey, look at that, it's a card. Wowie, zowie, oopie, powie, look at that. What's this? The card, it can't be. Recall that unpleasant woman's testimony for a moment. Miss Olga Orley? Yes, our little swindling devotchka.
That night I planted the card like I was supposed to, and Wright lost the last hand just like he was supposed to, and Smith searched him, but the planted card was gone, the trap failed.
Wait, this isn't... You're telling me that this is the planted card you disposed of? The one you mentioned in this piece of testimony? I happened to put my hand on my pocket and found a card. Yes, I snuck a peek at it. I have a feeling someone that might happen, so I disposed of the card before the game. Disposed. There was an empty bottle of grape juice I had been drinking right beside me. I threw the card inside the bottle. The Five of Hearts. This is the card. The bottles were swapped, and the only one who could have done that was the fourth person in the club that night. You, Mr. Christoph Gavin. Oh, okay, now he has levitation abilities. What, are you a magician now? Are we done? Is the case over now? That is all.
Is this your idea of revenge, Felix, right?
Revenge?
Revenge for the events that took away your attorney's rights 7 years ago.
My past is like my logic, straight and true. Nothing's changed. All I did was point the finger of justice in the proper direction.
Fine. I'm glad we could have this little tea, right?
This is insane. What about me?
I believe this time we've finally come to the end of our trial. Mr. Payne, do you have a report for us on Christoph Gavin?
He's admitted everything. We're processing his arrest right now.
I see. Still, one has to wonder why you would do such a thing. He didn't even have a connection to the victim, did he?
None that we know of.
Mr. Wright, have you anything to add? I'm afraid I can't shed any more light on the matter because of fucking course you can't. He's arguably this traveler, and all permission to be sure, and that's all we know about him.
I'll arrange a follow-up investigation, Your Honor.
Good. Mr. Wright. Yes? Sorry, and you still haven't lost your touch. Christoph Gavin was a man with much significance for me, both as a friend and as a lawyer. He was extremely talented, to be sure. I needed two things before I could confront him. First would be a place where no injustice would be tolerated, this courtroom. Second was a man who would tolerate no injustice. In other words, a defense attorney. You, Apollo, you're friends with f***ing Edgeworth and Von Karma. You don't need to hire some to find some random ass attorney fresh out of law school. Oh my god, none of this makes any sense. Me? A dark time is coming for our legal system, a twisting of justice brought on by our very own court system. We have to set it right. Mr. Wright. Our work lies ahead of us, and I, for one, am looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to a time in which nothing makes sense. Well, this seems like a good time to announce the verdict. The court finds the defendant, Mr. Phoenix Wright, not guilty. Yay. Court is adjourned. Holy hell, this is so f***ing dumb. April 20th, 4:28 p.m. District Court, defendant lobby number 3. Thanks, Apollo. You came through just like I thought you would. I'm pretty sure I didn't do a thing in there. Yeah, exactly. You really didn't do a thing. It was you who could have the killer. Couldn't have done it by myself. You absolutely could have. All you have to f***ing do is just call up your friend Edgeworth and say, hey, I'm kind of in a bit of I know who killed this person. You want to help me bring him to justice? And what he would have said is, of course, right. I'd be happy to help you. Well, he wouldn't have said they would have said it in his own Edgeworth way, but he would have said yes. You said it today too, didn't you? Your ability. Oh yeah, it takes a real rocket scientist to figure that one out. Yes, a sensitivity I lack. Yeah, a sensitivity you lack. You are the one who told me that she was touching her neck. What do you mean? I wonder if he means... I have one question to the witness then. You say, yeah, whatever. We already saw this. What? What was that, Mr. Wright? You'll have to find the answer to that question yourself. Oh my god, enough with the mind games. Today was full of questions without answers, most of them about Mr. Gavin. What possible reason could he have had to commit murder? Perhaps you'll learn that in the days to come. Huh? Wait, you don't know, do you? Of course he does. Let's lock it as the key. Huh? Oh, that reminds me. I met the girl was pictured in your locket, yeah. Your daughter, right? That's right, she's my daughter. You know, you were right about this locket. I took this off his neck the night he died, but it looks like our dear Russian scam artist saw me. So the truth is, this locket really did belong to him. So you put a picture of your daughter in his locket? F***ing why? That's... Yes, exactly. You testified that said that locket was yours. I said no such thing, actually. Huh? I merely said that it was a locket with my daughter's picture inside. A subtle distinction, but a distinction nonetheless. And it's the truth. Wait, but then why? Why was the victim wearing a locket with a picture of your daughter inside of it? Sometimes the straightest path to the truth isn't the best one. Give it time. You're still just getting started with your career. Speaking of which, I may be out of a job. I work for Gavin office after all. I still can't believe I just saw Mr. Gavin get led away in handcuffs. Apollo, how about coming to work for me? Oh, good God. Wait a minute. Coming to work for you. You were disbarred! You lost your attorney's badge! What do you mean coming to work for you? You don't work in law anymore! I mean, not a single attorney in my generation doesn't know it. I can't imagine that to be true, but wait, but didn't you? You're not a... Oh, I turned in my badge, yes. I'm not an attorney anymore. That incident 7 years ago. That legendary trial. And in the middle of it all was one man, Phoenix Wright. The case reached its sad conclusion and he left law for good. Have you ever thought about coming back to the courts? Can you even do that? Hold on, let me look this up. Can you be reinstated as a defense attorney after being disbarred? Because lawyers may be licensed in several jurisdictions. Disbarment in one jurisdiction doesn't mean all mean. Okay, never mind. That's not what I'm looking for. Can you practice again if you're disbarred? A disbarred attorney can petition to have his or her license reinstated. Okay, so why the hell haven't you done so yet? The Phoenix that I'm not qualified to stand on the court. What Phoenix? Does the original trilogy mean nothing anymore? We saw you grow from someone who needed help to someone who could stand on his own and defend the innocent, and fight for the truth. You, the Phoenix that we know, would never. Well, first off, never would have. I'm assuming it's about forged evidence. Would never have forged evidence to win a trial. Never. He would never have had to resort to that. Second off, even if he was disbarred, he would not have given up. He would have called up Edgeworth and he would have said, "Hey, this is bullshit, help me out." And then he would have said, "Of course, right?" And then they would have fixed it. Or if not, then the second he was available to retake the bar exam, he would have done so. What do you f***ing mean? Did you notice in today's trial there was a single piece of forged evidence? Are you f***ing kidding me? A naughty magician's trick? Just seemed, well, too perfect. I'll bet this was the forged... You're talking about the card, aren't you? You're talking about this stupid card. Oh my god. You mean this? Don't you? I got this from your daughter, Mr. Wright. Yes, that card couldn't have been found at the crime scene. Why? Because the killer took it with him when he left, leaving the wrong card in its place. Luckily for us. The gold card is a fraud. A fraud? Yeah, we already heard all this. My verdict was already handed down 7 years ago. Then you really... Yes, I forged this card. One look at the crime scene should have told you it wasn't real. But you can't do something like that and call yourself an attorney. Who's calling himself an attorney, Apollo? So it's true. The rumor is true. 7 years ago. None of that matters much now, does it? He actually f***ing did it. He actually f***ing did it. Are you f***ing kidding me? This... Never in a million years would Phoenix have done that. Look, it's not impossible for him to have been disbarred, right? It is entirely possible that at some point Phoenix would have been disbarred. But not for forging evidence. Absolutely not. People are capable of making mistakes. But absolutely not for that. And you cannot skip ahead 7 years later and have him just magically be like themselves like higgledy-piggledy, bibbidi-bobbidi-boo. This is Phoenix now. To take a character as beloved as Phoenix Wright and turn him into this disheveled hobo Papa Joe piano player without us having seen any of the character development over those 7 years is insulting to every single person who came to see themselves as Phoenix, to relate to Phoenix, to play as Phoenix in the original trilogy. This is so stupid. I hate this so goddamn much. It's your sword from here on out, Apollo. Perhaps I can help you turn the next page. My officer's address. That's all about your uppercut. Try yelling. Take that next time. And Apollo, thanks today. I had a good time.
And with that, Mr. Wright walked out the door. And that's how my first trial ended. A lot of mysteries went unsolved. And at the time, I had no idea they were related at all. Every mystery that day, connected by a single thread of logic. I'd find that out soon enough. My name is Apollo Justice Attorney at Law. And this is how my story begins. You could not be any fucking lazier. This is genuinely insulting. He's like, oh, my story's over. Time for your story to begin. That's the same bullshit they did in the Star Wars movies. I don't even like Star Wars. I don't care. I could not possibly care less about Star Wars if I wanted to. But what I do know is that they had the main trilogy where the heroes save the day, they save the galaxy, and then the sequel trilogy comes along and just basically undoes the things they did, undoes their character development, and they revert everybody back to a neutral status, or and sometimes go the complete opposite direction and make them the opposite of who they became. That's what they did here. And the reason why I did that in Star Wars was to make room for the new heroes. There are ways you can do that without fucking destroying the characters in the process. You could just have Phoenix be retired. Just skip ahead so that Phoenix is retired and have him take on the role of a mentor, like McQueen in Cars 3. Just do that. If you were that desperate to have Phoenix in this game, then just have him be retired, and then make that the reason for him to help Apollo Justice become the next Phoenix Wright. Do that. Don't fucking destroy his character by having him be disbarred from. I can't. This is so stupid. This is genuinely insulting to me. What the fuck did they do? Oh my god. This is a game that I'm playing. I signed up for this. I could have kept the trilogy as its own perfect story. I could have had the perfect beginning, the mediocre middle with two strong cases, and the freaking fantastic ending. I could have had that be my vision of the series forever, but you want to know what I did instead? I decided to play the rest of this godforsaken series, and now here we are, and I'm discovering that Capcom just doesn't care. They don't care at all about these characters. They just... I hate this. This is genuinely awful. And the thing is, that case itself was technically fine. Like, the trick in last episode with the math, that was cool. Some of it was alright. Like, as an actual mystery was fine, I guess, until they introduced the idea of a secret passage. It's just... all of it was predicated... Like, Phoenix knew the answer to this mystery the whole time. He knew everything. So why didn't he just go to Edgeworth and say, hey, help me out here? It's just... my god. Why? What? It's... I'm out of words. I don't have any more words to describe how terrible this is. Why did they do this? I need some time to just think about what I just played through. Okay, that'll be this episode. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for next time to catch you all tomorrow for some more Apollo Justice Attorney. Yay! Goodbye.